Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the ninth episode of the Point Gremlins podcast. My name is Jonas the Red, or James. With me, of course, I have my host, Alex, or Delirium, and we have a special guest today, Joseph, or Woodlin, as you guys would know him. Popular character amongst the iCombat community. He's known for herding a million cats and getting his team to straighten up in a line. I wanted to poke his brain a couple things, so I have him on the show this week.
I'm happy to be here, guys.
Cool.
That was good.
That was a great intro. Thank you. So I have a couple questions we're going to go ahead and work through. Trying to get a good introduction for you going. Ask you a couple questions, try and bounce off of some stuff, and whenever you want to jump in some stuff, go ahead. So you don't talk about it too often, but you actually used to work for iCombat. You want to start off there?
Yes, I actually hate when people say he doesn't work here anymore.
It's true.
Because I don't work there. But I used to work there. What was it? 5-6 years ago?
A long time.
Yeah, a long time ago. And it's crazy how I got the job. I was in there playing one day, and the former manager, who was it? Erich?
Erich Fry.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. This TV is loud.
You can't hear it. You're fine.
Okay. So I remember I was playing, and then I wanted to work there because it was like really cool. And he passed my application on to, was it Brian?
Yep, Brian West.
Yeah. So I guess Erich, he was deciding to leave iCombat. And he said, "Hey, I got a perfect fit for a manager." And he's met me maybe like 2-3 times. And they called me, they interviewed, and I just thought it was so cool that a laser tag facility had like a corporate office and like a couple of different locations. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing this." It was crazy because during the time I was still in the classroom teaching, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave my job to go work at this laser tag place."
Oh, yikes.
Oh, high stakes.
Yikes.
I actually remembered the day. You were playing pretty reasonably. You were still getting used to it. And then Erich was looking to move on, and they're trying to find a replacement. And you just applied to be just a team member, just to it'd be fun to do it because it just is a fun job, a cool place to be at. And they saw your stats, they saw your resume and all your stuff out on it. And it was like, yo, this guy should just be the manager. I remember this conversation, and they just did it, and you just accepted, and you just worked, and you came with a suit for the interview, and then they looked great. And now, yeah. So little known fact about Woodlin. He doesn't like to talk about it, but yeah, he was there for a bit.
It was terrible back then.
No,
you mentioned. Go ahead.
Actually, it wasn't. It wasn't terrible. It started off amazing, and it ended amazing.
So you mentioned that you were teaching for a while, and what I'm noticing when you're playing is that I specifically put you on teams with a lot of new players that are teachable, or what I think are teachable, but my opinion of what is teachable isn't the most. I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. So sometimes I get it right, sometimes you don't. Where does your teaching experience help you in laser tag? How does that work?
So you're the reason why I get all of those crappy. No, I'm just playing.
Yes, sir.
So I think one of the things. So when I was back and I had my own classroom. So currently I'm a school administrator. But when I had my own classroom, one of the questions that I asked myself was, if I were a student, would I want to be in this classroom? So that meant like making the classroom fun and engaging for all of my students. And that's one of the things that I kind of bring. I am kind of like team leading a team, making it fun and engaging, but also like giving skills and giving pointers to help better the team.
So generally what I notice when I'm playing is that some players they'll just kind of come in and play the session, get in, get out. They'll put in the earphones and just kind of go for it. And then their team doesn't really know what to do, and they kind of fall apart, and they can't carry their team as much. What you actually do is you're pointing at them and you're telling them to do things. And where's they'll try and do the pointer sometimes. So I saw, I'm not sure what the name is anymore. It was a particular regular that was trying to give some pointers, but they weren't doing a whole good job of it. They weren't looking anyone in the eyes. They're just kind of giving some general pointers, and everyone's looking at them why the hell what I listen to you. Where do you make the difference and why?
So I think it starts at the before the session is called in. So when the session is called in, um, I'm sitting and I'm observing. And I've noticed several times that while people are waiting, they're looking at the PowerPoint screen. And I think I'm the only regular with my face there. And then they're like, "Oh, I hope we're on his team," because they see my face on the screen, and I don't say anything because I'm not that good. Like I'm just a great educator. Um, so when I go in, I try to stay as humble as possible. And even when I am on the field, I do, I do. Don't look at me like that.
Do you? Do you
Yes,
stay as humble as possible? Okay, I'll let that one slide.
I said I try.
Okay.
Um, so then when the first game starts, I'll let the team leader do his or her thing. And then after that, PDM, it is like go and figure it out. I don't say much then. But after that, when the missions start to kick in, that's when I decide to like give pointers and tips. One of the things that's really beneficial when you're trying to like lead a team is your tone, your approach. Everybody knows Nate. We love Nate. But whenever he tries to give pointers, it is like, Nate, stop, stop, because they're not going to listen to you. And this is from like my teaching background. Like I can tell how a group is going to respond based off of how a teacher like relays a message. Um, so you have to be as if you are a part of the team and not the leader of the team. And in your messaging, it has to be uh, well received. So leaving out any like negative terms, not being too pushy. I always
Do you,
like to say, if we want to win, this is what we have to do.
do you want to give us a good example of what is a terrible, like a bad way of giving advice and then a good way of giving advice to a new team?
I have a bad way because I don't give bad. No.
True.
Um, bad way of giving advice is if you're so after the second game, so the second round of the game, you're so frustrated as a player because your team has lost, and that frustration shows. So a lot of people like when we're swapping sides and I talk to the regulars on the other team, I'm like, hey, you got to talk to your team. And they're like, I did tell them. And I can tell that they've told them stuff out of frustration. So you have to leave that out of it. Because if that's in there, they're not going to listen.
Okay.
Just go ahead.
So I think from a regular standpoint, one of the more difficult things when it comes to coaching a team is giving them a task that is manageable to their skill set, because you can't just tell them to go take a point and expect them to take it, because they're not nearly as good as a lot of the other regulars. So what do you tend to do to, I guess, get around the skill gap?
I think first of all, like working with your regulars. So the first thing that I do is I like congregate with the regulars, like, hey, where are you guys going? So making sure if we're playing a tube game, there's a regular at each tube. And then after I figure out where the regulars are, I kind of like explain the game again and more simplified simplified version for the team. And then I'll say, hey, if you guys want to have a challenge, you'll go this way. If you guys want a little bit more, like this is our easiest one, so you guys can go this way, and I'm going to go this way. It's always important to let the team to know what you're going to do. So it's not like you're telling them, like, hey, we're all in this together. This is what I'm going to do. If you want to do this, you can do that, so on and so forth.
Do you expect the new players to follow you around? No?
No, I want so, and this like kind of goes to play style. Um, like I am going to do my thing. As a team, as a part of a team, like I'm going to do my thing, and I want everyone to be able to find their niche. Like, what is going to be your thing? So I don't expect people to follow me, not at all, because I know that I'm going to make tons of mistakes. And if new people see you making those mistakes, and you've just gave them pointers, they're probably gonna be like, "What the?
Oh,
What's
you
going
want
on?"
to try to avoid them.
Yeah,
That's
as much as
good.
possible.
Guys, don't look. Don't look.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you like to explain the games in a more simplified way so that people understand them
Yes.
more. I guess, is there anything from a team leader's perspective that they could be doing to get their new players involved more and understanding things more?
Great
Yeah.
question to ask.
So I think as a team leader, so as a former manager, I think team leaders, they kind of have this script that they say, uh, and they forget about the people that are in front of them. Uh, but no, like, and some people's scripts are great, and some people's scripts are just like what they've learned in the past. So one of the biggest one is like invincibility. Like not everyone knows what that means. So if you're telling people you have 3 seconds of invincibility, just get out of here, and you're not observing your crowd, some people are gonna be like, okay, whatever that means, I guess I got that. Um, so that's one of the things. Sniper is a big one. Uh, Delirium, you do this one a lot. You try to be as technical as possible when you're explaining sniper. And it's like based off of average, and it's like for me, I'm an educator. I love math, but I don't love math. So it sounds all mathematic to me when some team leaders explain sniper. So the way that I explain it is that after the team leader is done, I say, "Hey guys, if we go out of here and we're just shooting shots, we can be at a score of 900." And I even use hand motions. We can be at a score of 900. And if you're out there shooting pop, 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 it's going to take our score down really quick to 300. And people are like, "Oh, so don't just don't shoot a lot, and our score may go up. Do one shot, one kill." I always like to say one shot, one kill. And I think a lot of team leaders have like adopted that phrase, one shot, one kill.
I definitely have. Sometimes people will bounce off of my terminology and grab it as well, and I'm glad to see people will grab yours as well. Bouncing off terminology is just useful. You're trying to find the simplest terms to try and get the newer players to like, okay, it's not as complicated as it seems to be. Put it in the simplest layman's terms as possible, or just enough to so they can pick it up on it.
Yep. So
You
then you were
mentioned your
gonna.
play style earlier. What would you describe your play style as?
So when I first started, a little bit of more background about myself. I when I was younger, I always wanted to be a police officer. So I actually was a police explorer. We would go out and do trainings. We would do like traffic stops. We would train with the radios. So I just always like that. That was just always fun to me. So then when I went to this laser tag place, I'm like, wow, this is just like a city, and you can be a police officer. You can communicate with people and like try to find or go for the objectives. So for me, when I play, and people hate this, but for me when I play, I am on a team. And when I'm on my team, my tactical team, I am playing my role. So if we're playing and I'm not running to the other base to get kills, that is somebody else's job. My job is to control the patio or control the stairs so that if my team is going up the stairs, they're not getting killed while someone is just spawn camping us. So like my play style is I'm going to find my role and I'm going to play my role. And I assume, and I know this doesn't happen, I assume that everyone else is playing their role. So whether it is a flanker, whether it is a top player, everyone has their role. And if we all play that role together, we'll hopefully win.
Okay, I like that line of thinking. I I'd say a big benefit you could have from that would be communicating roles before the game starts. So most people know how each other play, but going through and defining what each person is going to be doing each round and telling them exactly what their role is going to be per round, I think would be a really cool way to play the game. That's not really something I think I see very often. Is yeah, we talk about where we're going to go at the start, but we don't really talk about what we're going to be doing during the game and what role we play for a team.
Oh, we want to
Yeah.
pick up on Luis's roles that we mentioned earlier: the flanker, the killer, the slayer, planter. What were they called, Luis? He'll put them in the chat later.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons, so there, you guys know me, I'm big for the stairs. sometimes I don't play the stairs if I don't have a person that is good up top. Because if I don't have a person that is good up top, someone's going to look over and they're going to kill me. And I'm going to be so mad, and I'm going to say Frog Champ's name really loud. Um, and and that's how I play. Everyone has their role. Everyone is doing their part, and I'm doing my part.
Damien hasn't stepped foot on the stairs since 2019.
Did you saying Damien used to lean over the stairs like Woodlin did, or
No. Damien used to play upstairs a lot. No,
he still does? I got footage.
No.
Cool. So when you're leading the team out there, how you want to go over a bit more detail what you're trying to exactly say? What are you trying to get to the regulars? So are you trying to tell the regulars to try and go somewhere else if you think they're better in a particular spot, or let them actually do what they think they're good at? If you think someone's better at something else.
No, I let the regulars do what they're going to do, because some regulars, like, they're going to do what they want to do anyways. And I think that is part of the disconnect. When you have regulars who are not, and this came up on the podcast a while ago, not like the communication part. They want to do them. They want to get that kill streak or that achievement, which is great. But how can we still accomplish that same thing in a collective effort? So it is like communicating, like who's going to go where. So the regulars, they have their strengths, so they're going to do what they're going to do. And when I know where regulars are going, I can send a group of new players with them, so that that regular can say, hey, you shoot this tube. So that's the hope, that when a group of new people are going with a regular, hey, the regular is like leading that group. And that's why when I go, I am going with another regular so that they can lead that group and I can do my role.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think generally you could, in some pretty nice sessions, you could get players to follow, or new players at least, to follow through with following other players and stuff like that. But I think a lot of the times you're going to get groups that are a little bit more stubborn or a little bit more confused, that aren't as willing to just kind of go along with what you're saying, or don't understand what you're saying. What do you do when you have a crowd that's a little bit tougher to coach?
So then I just turn into a regular.
And you just ignore them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I've said, it starts in the beginning when the group is called in for the brief. I quickly determine if a group is there to have fun or a group is there to win. A group that is there to have fun, they could possibly be a group that is there to win. But if I have that group, I'm not going to give as much pointers as I would with a group that wants to win.
How do you determine the difference?
Yep. So you look at the people. You determine if they've just come from a bar. You determine if if there's like a bachelor party or a bachelorette. And sometimes those are the like really competitive groups, but most of the time, after the first TDM, and then giving that first set of directions for the next mission, you see how they play. And sometimes I get really, can we cuss on here? Pissed.
Go for it.
That's not a cuss word, pissed. So sometimes I get really pissed, and then we'll swap sides and I'll try it again. After I try it again and they don't do anything, I'm done. So when I'm done, I will stop talking to the group. But when I'm really pissed, I'm going to start doing things that I shouldn't do. Like, okay, I guess we're just going to lose. Like, yep, you guys are losing. We're dying. And that's when, like, I'm really invested in a game, but I shouldn't do that.
No, I've seen you do it. There was a particular game of like infiltration or espionage where this team just like would pretend to listen to you or pretend to take you seriously, but then they're like, "Yeah, dude, I'll do whatever you say. Just say the word and they'll do it." And the game would start and they just do it exactly, just fucking not that. And you'd just be like, "Dude, do anything else, please." And you just couldn't get them to handle around it because these guys just wouldn't. They wouldn't care. They didn't care about the game. They just wanted to shoot some lasers. Would there be any chance of redemption for you, or is that they're just done?
So there are times where we would just lose, like, and then I'll point out the leaders board, like, yep, you look, you died 10 times, you didn't do the mission, you died, and I would like have this really snotty attitude. And I would do that for like 2 to 3 games. And then I'll observe to see, hey, are they willing to like rejoin and work as a team? If so, then I'll get back in that positive mood and like, hey guys, if we want to win, this is what we have to do. But you have to, for groups that are like unwilling, you have to show them their weakness. Like they're not winning. Like we're not winning at all. Sometimes they look at the numbers whenever there is an objective based game and then the screen shows the kills. I have to remind them that, yeah, even though we got a lot of kills, we lost. We just lost this game. And I think if so from the start, if they've seen that, hey, he's a regular, we're on his team, oh, maybe we should listen to him now.
How much of the team deathmatch do you want to lose to try and get them to move along? Do you want to win that first TDM or lose it?
Actually don't care about that one. So the games that I don't care about is a TDM, a an elimination. Those are games where I'm like, you guys just need to go and figure this out. Because I'm going to do me. So like a more mission-based game, so like 2 games, backpack games. Those are the games that I am like really coaching and trying to create, like build a team.
You want to give an example of how you would do your speech for espionage?
Like, which one is espionage?
Get the
Sure.
bag, return it to your spawn.
Bring it to our spawn.
Opposite of
No,
infiltration.
that's not a good. That's not a good one. 'Cause
Okay.
What is a good one?
like a good one is, what games do we have? Sniper. So I explained that one, how I would do that one.
Give me domination.
Domination, 3-2 domination, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I love that one. So that is when you get your regulars, you split them up into 3 teams, and then you explain to the team, this is the easy tube. If you want to go here, we're gonna and get the tube quick. You're gonna follow him. You're gonna go out this door. You're gonna shoot down into that tube. Um, you're gonna hide and just camp it out. Another one is Juggernaut. Um, I love to make sure, and regulars don't try to use my stuff against me, but I love to make sure that we have 2 flank watchers. So in the whole briefing, after the team leader is done, in the whole briefing, I will go and show. I will explain to people what a flank watcher is really quick. And then I would say we need 2 people to watch the flank, because what they're going to do is they're going to come back here, they're going to kill all of us off, and then they're going to get up and kill our juggernaut. So I kind of let them know like what could potentially happen if we don't have these positions. And then I show them where the flank watcher should stand. And I let them know about the gun sensor. So there are a couple of games where I remind them about the sensor on a gun. So it's games like that. Games where you have to be really, really sneaky. I let them know about not sticking their gun around, because what they're going to do, if they see your gun, they're going to shoot your gun sensor. You're going to be dead. They're going to run past you and they're going to get upstairs. So I have the flank watchers, and then I find a team to go and watch the front steps. I think I need to do a better job with this, because some people think the front steps are the back steps. So I need to let
That's
people know.
easily concerned. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they don't know the far step. Like I need people there, because I'm going to control the back. Like if I have my flank watchers, and we did a really great job in the last Juggernaut that we played, you were on that team and you kept flanking and you came around and you were at the stairs. I'm like, oh, he's dead. Yes, someone did their job. So like ensuring that everyone knows their role, because I'm going to play my role. I'm going to be at the top of those steps, making sure that no one gets to the back steps. And then the bodyguard, which I am never going to be the bodyguard unless I really have to, which means we don't have too many regulars. The bodyguard is the person that is going to hold down those front steps. So what I do, depending on how many regulars that we have, if there are 2 regulars upstairs, both of those regulars come down, dead, then I have to go and watch the front steps, which I hate doing. Um, but I ensure that the team, they're not sticking their guns over the the edge so that their sensors aren't being shot. And then like during the game, I kind of coach through that as well.
It sounds like what your play style isn't necessarily get a whole lot of points, a whole lot of kills. It just highest priority is just win this
Win.
shit.
Yep. Yep. That is
Does
exactly
that
what it is.
what a lot of regulars are afraid of is that just going for the win isn't going to get you your damn points, isn't going to get you MVP, isn't get you top in the session. And sometimes you pull it off anyways. Where do you draw that balance between? Because I'm sure you still want to get a ton of points, right? That's like the whole game.
Mhm.
Where do you draw that balance?
So I look at the regulars on the other team and like what they're doing. Like if they're racking up points and they're not going for the objective, I'm like, yeah, well maybe I should get some points too. And that's when I'm like, okay, I'll do my role, but I'm gonna try to get some points. So instead of me just standing at the back steps, making sure no one comes up, I'm gonna peek over the edge and I'm gonna start getting kills too. And when I'm doing that, what I notice is that okay, this is why I'm dying a lot because I'm moving from trying to play the objective to like trying to get points. Some regulars they can do it and they can be amazing at it. That's just not my play style. I'm not that awesome. I'm awesome, but not that awesome.
I'm going to track back a second, pull back to kind of the roles that you were talking about earlier. Uh, and you mentioned that a lot of the times you'll cover that stairway, especially if you have someone upstairs that can cover you a little bit more. What kind of role would you say you're playing for a team when you're trying to cover that area?
Stair person.
Stair person? That's your role?
What is my role? Like the second in command maybe, because that the person the regular that is watching the front steps, that is where we're hoping most of the play will come from. So that person is holding it down. I mean, the new people, they are our kind of like our fillers, but a part of the team. And then I am watching that back stairway, which is the second in command because either they're coming up the front steps or the back steps. Um, I tr- I really try to wrap my head around why, and I guess we know why, it's for points, but I try to wrap my head around why do regulars go from our spawn, let's say we're on breach door side, and they're running through the mansion all the way to patio to stop the people from going upstairs when they have a quicker access going upstairs than you would have just going up those back steps. And it's really to get points. So when I have a regular that's going to do that, I'm like, okay, you go and do you. But some regulars are really good at it. They're really quick and efficient with it. They can hold it down, but they're still going for points. So I would say if I am at the back steps, I consider myself as the second in command for that game.
Okay. Most of the time when I think of, I guess, command, it's sort of like a shot caller, more of a keeping people in line and keeping people updated on how we're doing in the objective and how we're doing in the round. And I guess a lot of times I wouldn't think of you as second in command. I think you are probably more vocal and more involved in the way the games are playing them. And the vast majority of regulars we have, I think there's very few number of people that will actually do proper call outs and try and play to win instead of just playing to kill people. So I might disagree with you when you say second in command in that role, because the person that's upstairs is not in command. That's just the person just using upstairs to try and get a lot of kills.
You're just trying to stay humble.
Like my hope is that that person, like everyone has their role. My hope is that that person is communicating with people, but they're 9 out of 10 they're not. But
No.
they're doing their part. Um, Another thing is that hopefully if they die, they're running past a teammate so that they can say, "Hey, go and cover this." Um, but I would say second because like I'm leading the people in the back. So when people are running up the stairs, I'm like, "Hey, get upstairs. We need more people upstairs. Hey, you watch that flank." Um, okay, I guess I'm the first in command. I don't know.
When you're in that position, you're on the back of the staircase, let's say in Juggernaut, you're in a great spot to kind of usher people up the staircase and command and update them. Do you choose that spot specifically for that job, or just because you like that spot to be there?
I like that spot.
Yep.
So I don't know when I figured out that spot. It had to be like 5 or 6 months ago. And I was like, wait, I can just like stand here. I have blockage for like my head. And I see people as they're running to the back. A lot of regulars have gotten really smart. Like when Woodlin is playing Juggernaut, he's going to be at the back steps. So I have to be really strategic when I'm going to the back. And that's why it is really important for me when I'm playing Juggernaut to have flank watchers. If I don't have flank watchers, I know it's going to be really hard for me to cover those back steps.
True.
You gave the role to Stribling one time, and then she pulled it off like perfectly. Like there was
Yes.
no like competition for the back stairs. We just won that Juggernaut easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
you
Wow.
is.
have zero awareness behind you.
I hate it. I hate it.
You don't know what's going on back there.
And I'm trying to figure out like what. So and I think I explained why that is. It is because I assume that someone else is playing their role. So like if I die from behind, someone let me down. Like you have to think about like this army, like police, off like tactical teams. Like no one is going to come and get them from behind because everyone has their role, and that is my thought process when playing laser tag. Um, I know that not all the time people are going to be there. Like in a mansion, not everyone's in a mansion. But sometimes I just forget that. And I'm like, yep, I'm not, I'm just doing this. I'm doing it. My focus is here. So that's why I like to camp a lot, uh, because I am sitting back so no one is coming behind me. Um, so yeah.
I don't think you can ever really blame someone for dying. So if someone dies on you and they're watching
Yeah.
behind you, I don't think you can be mad at them for that as long as they are watching behind you.
Mhm.
So I think that's a lot of where the whole communication aspect plays a big role. Where obviously you don't talk when you're dead, but when you're alive, you have to make sure that the person that's supposed to be covering your back knows that they're supposed to be covering your back, and when they're like respawning and stuff like that, giving you heads up that there's someone coming behind you if they have time and stuff like that. To because that whole communication aspect can be a really big part if you have one side of the team or one side of the field that is just communicating really well and pointing out where everyone is and covering certain areas, when the other side of the team is just kind of dispersed lone wolf doing their own thing. I'd say the communicating team is going to win 9 times out of 10.
Yes, and that happened really big last Sunday. I heard like it was you, it was Jake, it was who else? It was a lot of people just communicating. And when I first heard like Woodlin, I was like, oh, they're just trying to tell people I'm dead, that they killed me. Because sometimes when I say delirium dead, like I'm trying to make fun of you. But I realized that when people are doing that, they're letting the team know that, hey, the one of the decent players is down. So we have it for a minute. Um, so I think I need to do a better job at like explaining to the team of how our communication is going to be really important. And a lot of people that play, a lot of the new people that come and they play Call of Duty, they'll be like, where are the call outs? So I think that's a great opportunity for me to say, hey guys, we need to make sure that we're communicating. If you see someone coming up the back steps, yell back steps, or whatever the case may be. Another one is like when we are on garage side and we're playing, what is it? The one we have to find a backpack. What game is that?
Domestic.
The mess.
Yep. So domestic threat. I am watching the middle starting off. Um, but what happens is I'm like a right side, left side, lower market, and I don't think it was effectively communicated to the team, like which one is the right side, which one is the left side. Um, and it should be obvious because like our starting point is here, but some people don't understand that. So letting people know, like letting the team know, like, hey, when we're calling out, this is our right side, this is our left side, so that we can know. When we say top clear, that means we don't have to go upstairs anymore. Um, so yeah, I think that is a growth area for me, the communication and like helping a team to be more communicative.
Yeah, I think ever since we've been talking about it on the podcast, people have been getting a lot better about it. I know I really enjoy communicating with Luis and Jake are my two favorites, just because one, they're loud, and two, they're pretty good at it.
Yeah,
But seeing more people doing it is something that I would really enjoy. I think getting people involved, a lot of the regulars playing as a not like a tight knit like back to back team, but like communicating throughout the field would be more fun.
yeah, yeah, because then it forces you as the opposing player or the opposing team to like switch up your strategy, which is a benefit because if you do one thing really well because you've done it a lot, it pushes you to do something different and then hopefully to master that.
It's a good segue to vocabulary when doing your shout outs. There's one thing to just use vocabulary, certain words when describing to a team, but what are like good words to use when doing call outs for certain areas where someone's coming that way versus what are good call outs for describing things to a team? Earlier you mentioned that you don't want to use invincibility because they're just like, what the fuck, that word doesn't mean shit to me. What better words could we be using to get everyone in on it?
Yeah, I think less is more. So when I say that, instead of like using, I don't know, less is more. So upstairs, downstairs, market, tower. Um, I'm trying to see like like what do we use, and I'm like, okay, you can simplify that. But really being really simplistic in like your call outs. It was funny because I brought some of my students there this past Sunday, and we were talking about like being on a five-way phone call and having our AirPods in. And he was like, the only thing that you guys are going to hear me saying is like, right here, right here, right here. And that's not helpful. So like, what does right here mean? Like, are you in the market? Are you in a tower? So like really working to define like those zones, and really been simple in your terms.
I want
So like,
every single room to have a call out, and I think a five-way AirPod phone call could totally work with the proper training for it. I've played a couple mil sims in the past, like games like Squad and Arma, or a lot of people have a lot of experience using radio codes and doing communication like that. It can totally work. You just got to have the right vocabulary and training to do it. You can't just be like, "Oh, idiot, kill him."
yeah.
You just
it,
can't.
it, it's funny because I was thinking about that before coming on today. I was like, maybe there should be like a communications class, like a before the game starts. But it will be beneficial if you knew your team. Maybe you knew what games you were going to play, and you can like kind of talk through strategy a little bit. It's kind of how we do for tournaments, talking through strategy, and that's why teams win. That's why teams like kind of advance because they're working through that strategy. They're working through which game modes we're playing, who's going to do what. And then there are some teams that even have like codes for for just different builds or different tactics that they're going to use. So, but that's that's a little bit too much.
I guess that's kind of where the cutoff is between where I draw my communication line and where you guys draw yours. Is I'm not communicating as much with my new players as I'm more communicating with my regulars who should know what I'm talking about when I'm making my call outs.
Sometimes they don't. We have a lot of new players that are
Should.
generally, or a lot of regulars that are generally newer to the sport still. They don't know the more harder to know call outs. Like, what the heck is Aravan's room? I don't know where that is.
I don't remember the last time I called out Aravan's room.
Every once in a while I'll do it, but it's like a call out from like 2013, dude. Like, not everyone knows that one. There are some niche ones, and I think every room needs a call out, so we can all get it across.
It's funny because I don't know what the China room, right?
Yeah.
Whatever the China paper is.
Is that the room with the red thing?
Yeah.
Is that the China room?
Yeah, the big red and white wall.
Okay. So that'd be helpful for new people to know.
The thing is, that thing moves every once in a while, so the China Room gets renamed to wherever, like where Nate stands in Black Hawk Down when he's a ranger. That could be the China Room sometimes, or the room with a big window in it. That tends to be the China Room most of the time, but it'll move between one of those two rooms all the time.
We got to get call out names for the most played room. Yeah.
So you mentioned it earlier. What are like don't without naming any particular names unless you want to, because you can go ahead and call them out because it's funny. Who is a good regular to you, or what makes a good regular to you? Like who is like listening to you well, or what are they doing that makes it good to you?
So a good regular, because you can have regulars who's good, but they're not good on that day. So Delirium is a good regular, but when he is pissed off, he's not a good regular. Like he's not gonna work well with the team. He's gonna do his own thing. He's gonna tell his team move out of the way in like a forceful way. Which I get. I get it. But I think when a regular is at his or her best, like they are really working well with the other regulars. Um, Something that whenever I am building a team, or so like with my last tournament team, when I selected the people, I chose I chose people that would work well together. I didn't want to have people who were going to be arguing with one another. I didn't want to have people on the team who would think that they're better than someone else. Um, so that was one of the reasons that I picked Dummy, because I saw him play and I was like, he would work well with Gilmore. He would work well with Hunter. Um, and like I wanted people who would like that would have that vibe. Um, so there are some regulars who are going to like thrive together, and there are regulars when you put them together, they have like whatever baggage that they're bringing, or whatever happened in the past, or um, if they feel some type of way about me and the steps, it's not gonna
How dare
vibe.
you be on the steps?
Ridiculous.
Like,
I don't know how
just
people
shoot
don't
him.
kill you. Yeah, I just shoot him. Really.
And it's funny. So regulars, when I am on the steps, I am doing my role. My role is to stop you from flanking. So I'm doing
Sure.
my role. Um, what I love about the steps is that people get so pissed that I'm on the steps, but you'll kill me once or twice. So if you know I'm gonna be there, kill me.
Just kill him. Go somewhere else. Kill him from behind. He's not watching behind him. Just kill him.
Yes, yeah, hopefully one of my team members they're watching my back.
Yeah, and you can help your team back you up for that. And maybe you don't need, if you have the resources you need to help you back yourself up, you don't need to look that way.
Also,
But-
fun fact, he gets greedy every once in a while, and he'll stick that gun barrel down the street to try and get some kills. Just kill him then.
Especially on what is the tube game where everyone has to shoot the tube?
Rush.
Yes, Rush.
He gets
So
greedy.
I get so pissed when I only get one kill. I definitely stick the gun barrel over and start like lighting them up, and then someone's like, Woodlin is going to be there. Wait for the barrel, kill him.
Yep.
I'm like shit.
So you're really not looking down the street. Like I tried to do it every once in a while, and I merely stick my gun around the corner to try and do it. You're further back more, waiting for them to push further past, running down the street, like the watch your flank does, like the Zach does, like the Gamoto does, to shoot him then.
Yes. Yep. I am waiting. Because I'll wait for the respawn and I'll look over like, okay, they're coming. Let me wait. And then they'll come and then they're dead. And then with the mansion, guys, your shadows, you got to wait for the light to turn on. Because I see you go through the mansion and I'm waiting for you. I'm not going to stick my gun over when you're in that first room. I'm not sticking the gun over when you're there to shoot me. I'm going to wait till you come all the way around. If I have to wait 40 seconds for you to come out that patio door, I'm going to wait 40 seconds for you to come out that door, and I'm going to kill you.
It's so valuable to kill a regular that's trying to peek like that. It's just free. Watch the fun button, guys. It's there. It flickers. There's even a pattern to it. And there's like, if you can notice the light's on for a little bit, it means the operator hasn't pushed a button in a bit. You just gotta wait a few more seconds. It'll start to flicker again.
Yep.
Hit it.
It might start to flicker again. You might be in there for 3 minutes though.
I won't hit the button.
I don't want to hit that button.
Yeah, especially when I am in patio. Ice operator do not hit the button because I'm going to kill him every time. And you're going to be done. You're done.
You're done. I guess that's a good segue into your banter, we can call it, with a lot of the other regulars, which has somewhat shifted to everybody.
Somehow.
You oftentimes will antagonize people when you kill them, which used to just be a lot of the regulars, and some of them cared for it a lot less than others. But now you'll say it to anybody. I'm assuming you're just doing it to entertain yourself, but is there anything else, any other reasons that you're demoralizing people after you kill them?
And you're looking over and you're like, that wasn't even a regular. I'm like, I don't care. That was the person that I killed.
Some person you don't know that you're screaming at.
So what I do sometimes, like, I just can't, like, I just get so excited and I just do it. But what I try to do is I try to gauge the crowd. So when we're swapping sides, I'll say like, good job, black team. Like, you guys did really well. When we're swapping sides, I'll try to go a little bit earlier to say, hey guys, great job. Even if they lost, like giving the other team like their props. I may even give a pointer so that they know that, okay, he's helping us out a little bit. So when I say you're done or dire, they're like, oh, that was the guy that was just helping us out. What I've noticed a lot at the end of the session, like when we're done, people will come out from the opposing team and say, hey, guy, that was a really good game. And there's like really great conversation that happens. I think one of the things that helps me is my screams and my laughter. Like people can kind of see that, oh, he's having fun. So some people can get away with it, like me. Some people you might not get away with it.
When you get screamed at you, if you scream at someone, it's different from when zombie screams at someone. Zombie screaming at someone to try and get them to lose morale, where you're trying to get them to build up morale.
Yeah.
Zombie will just yell die in your face, and it works. It's like they and then they don't play as well anymore.
They walk away and they're like, what the hell is that guy's problem? I no shade at zombie. I love playing with zombie.
Yeah. I try, like when I want to get in the regular's head, like I'll do it a lot. Like, and that's when I'll do the Zach, you're dead. Zach, bye.
Goodbye, Zach.
Because I know that there are a couple of regulars. Should I name them? Delirium?
Go for it.
If you're comfortable doing it, if you think they're comfortable being named, yeah.
No, should I name them Delirium?
Yeah. I'm one of them sometimes. Sometimes if I'm beating you, I'm gonna talk a lot.
I know when I have you because you'll walk back to your spot and then you'll run back and then you'll die again. You're dead.
I don't know how many times I died to you more than 2 times in a row. I can't be many.
Oh God, he's losing it.
Right, I'm in his head right now.
Who's easy to get in your head and who's not easy to get in your head? Get in their head.
What he did this past week. Who was it? Oh, it was. Should I say it on it? It was my old captain.
Your old captain from like 2 tournaments ago? What do you mean?
JPEGs.
Oh.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you can talk about JPEGs.
So what? I remember. So he was in the mansion. You know, the mansion is his thing.
Sure.
So I killed him a couple of times in mansion, and I was like, "Bye, you're done." And then he was like, "Shut the fuck up, Woodlin." And then I would kill him again, and then he just started killing me. I was like, "Fuck!" And I started to laugh it off, and then I tried to get him again, and he killed me. I was like, "Fuck!" I said, "Okay, I just need to go a different way. I'm so pissed right now. I just need to go a different way." So I think he's the only one. Anybody else?
That gets in your
No.
head? We're talking
Yes.
about who is easy to get in their head.
Okay, so he gets in my head.
How the heck
Um,
does J Banks get in your head of all people?
there's I don't know.
There's plenty of easy ones.
So the easy ones are you, Zach, Junior.
You get in Jake's head.
Yes.
Oh, it's so funny.
It is
Poor
so
Jake.
funny.
Bye, Jake.
That's one of my favorites.
So there was one time where I was just playing my role. I play my role. I do my job, and I'm in patio, and he comes out, and he's looking at the stairs, and I kill him like, "Bye, Jake," and he like kicks the door really hard. Like, yep, I'm in his head already. So yes, Jake is one. Whenever I'm playing against Dummy, whenever I kill him multiple times, he's one of them. Matthew at 1T, Mac 20, he's another one.
Get in his head. He's got earbuds and he can't even hear you.
I think that's what he
Specs.
wears.
Yep, Specs is an easy one. I see Specs in the chat.
Yeah. So Specs, and I like some people like I'm like I know when like I can just go there with them, but there are some people who like get really like heated, and I just have to be mindful. And that's just a thing I think regulars just need to have, like just like knowing the field. Because Specs he will get really upset. So I'll do the silent like by Specs.
Goodbye, Spec. That's good.
I'd say most of the time I really enjoy the Woodlin shit talking. Sometimes I'm not having it. There are days I'm not having it, but most of the time I enjoy it.
I love bouncing off of it. Like
I
you'll kill
enjoy
me, and it's like,
most of the time
Brack, he got me.
Yeah, because I'll just
I'll
kill
try
him
and-
more than he kills me. I get to do it more.
I try and out yell him, and it doesn't work.
But you never do, like Delirium, you never do it. You never like I never hear you telling me like bye or you're dead or whatever the case may be.
You want me to pull up the clip? I've got anti-Woodland propaganda.
So it's a video?
I do have I have a video of just compiled me yelling at you.
Oh, I need to watch that one.
I want it.
I'll pull it up eventually.
It's probably like a 3-year span, like
No.
once every.
It was
Wow.
2 sessions. One of them being the session I killed you 45 times.
Because I was on what's the highest level?
No, it was not that one. You walked off
Yeah,
that session.
yeah.
It was a week before. It was a week before that session.
Okay, he's always trying to say this, guys. He was on.
He thinks that
Recruit.
session exists. It's not real.
He was on Recruit, and I was on the highest level.
That's not true. The session we were both on Legendary that session. You're just thinking wrong.
I know. I was so sad. I was so sad on that session, and I'd like never walk off on a session.
You were having no fun.
No.
Are there some regulars that you purposely don't try and get in their head because like you're not going to get into it, or like you just like some people are off the list of taunting? Is no one on the list?
Everyone is susceptible to it.
Who's really
Because-
difficult to get? No one is. They all
They're
fall
all
for it.
easy. Everybody's
Yeah, man.
easy to put
Their
in.
brains are weak.
Yes. And this is the thing, like there are times when I'm there to like get my points up. Like for this next week, I'll be there to get my points up. But then there are times where I'm just there to have fun because I'm already number 1 on the leaders board. Already awesome. Yeah, I was at Disney.
One on the leaderboard.
Well, it was for like 2-3 weeks, top 7 day. We'll get there in a bit. We'll see. We'll show you guys the new 15 leaderboard for Woodland's adventure at Disneyland and Arizona and Dubai and wherever else he went.
And good
Yes,
riddance.
Zach. Yes, Zach, that's why I'm down. So listen to that, because you would have still been number 2.
Do you want to move on to that now, or do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Some
I think
people
I've
told me
covered
to
my
give them.
points. I'm just trying to see if I can find the session where I killed Woodland 45 times.
You won't be able to find it. Some people told me to give them shout outs. So shout out
Give your team leader shout outs. PSA for everybody.
Hey guys, oh, okay. So here's a hint for everybody. If I ever lead you to victory, say my name in the survey so I can get a free session. I think I
That's
need to get
not how that works.
Yeah,
Not how that works.
yes. They said if I get 10. If I get 10.
Who said that?
The people.
Was it Leanne? Leanne's not
No.
here anymore, Woodlin.
No, it was Jeremy.
She's gone.
It was Jeremy.
Yeah.
I'll believe it for fun.
Jeremy's not throwing away money, no way.
Yeah,
He's certainly not giving you money.
No. He always charges me the exact amount. So shout out to who is it? What's their name?
Braylon.
Watch her flank. He's awesome. He's a new up and coming like regular. Braylon, you're awesome. Yeah. Frog Champ. Yeah, you told me to give you a shout out. What was the one guy's name who started this? Simpson. He told me to give him a shout out.
Simpson
That guy-
wants
that guy's
to get
name?
on the podcast so
Oh,
bad.
He wants on so bad. He's never getting on.
Oh no. Have him come on and talk about like his thought process for games.
What thought process?
He
He's
has
sitting
some-
up and ice, disassociating. He's not doing anything.
He has an algorithm because
No,
we
he-
can
no,
always
he does not.
we can because we
Domination.
can all
Domestic
can
threat.
always figure it out.
Reaper to the death.
Oh yeah, Reaper to the death.
All right. If you want to guys move on, go ahead and move on to the 7-day leaderboard. I think we can go ahead and wrap this one up.
All right, here it comes. Let me make sure. All right, yep. So here's our 7-day leaderboard for this week. Coming in at number 1 this week, we have Sniper 17 going down the list. Mac 20, Gamoto, Specs, Dummy, Aravan, Skull Taker, Watch Your Flank, 6 and 7's Junior, Stripling 82, Mini Keith J, Ashaway, Keith J, Mac Milla, and O2 Cam.
Oh.
Did you guys
I-
hear how many of my tournament team were on there? You guys heard that?
I was going to ask, who's all on your team? We got Mini Keith J, we got Dummy, we got Birdie. Who else?
Me and someone that is at home with Delirium.
Yeah, Brady.
Oh, Brady. I forget Brady exists sometimes.
True.
Yeah, so for the list this week, it's just pretty much the core players I'm looking at now. You can tell the Woodlin is no longer on the list. He is taken his break and he's gone to, well, it's for the past like 3 weeks. It's been you versus Zach up on there, just 1 and 2 plays. And where did you go? Did you want to share?
I went to Arizona for a few days. I left Arizona, came back for 2 days. I was supposed to go to Dubai, and I was going to keep my rank up, but I just decided to stay at Disney for
Should've
9
stayed at
days.
Disney. You should still be down there.
I'm actually going back because I work there now, and I'm a singer.
I'm sorry?
What?
I'm a singer for Disney.
Oh, sick.
For the
I don't know
Lion
whether to believe you or not, but I'm going to go ahead and think it's true. That's sick.
Yeah, I do the Lion King. It's
That's
a theme
hype.
park, Circle of Life.
So Mac Mill is on the list again. This guy is still level 34. He's about to get out of his mosquito wings. Has anyone talked to this man besides looking at him?
Nope.
Oh, it was cool. After I got done playing with him, at the end of the session, he's like, "Hey, good playing with you, Woodlin." I was like, "Oh, he knows me. Great," because I think he's a new up and coming like top player. So I want to be on his team. I want to like work with him to see what I can learn, how we can like work together, and kind of build like some type of unity. 'Cause
The
he-
dynamic duo.
Yeah, he's really good.
I mean, only a few people to pick him for the tournament next. Not next year, but it's going to be sooner than we thought, I think. Whatever. Annual tournament, you're going to pick him.
He's gone already. I think he's at school.
He's gone.
Starting this weekend, I think he's back at school. So, goodbye.
Got to level 34 and never play laser tag again. He's gone. Cool.
Goodbye.
Well, Mac 20 is on there twice once again. That's good.
Would he be
He's
number 1 if...
No.
No.
No. Math doesn't work out quite that much. It's close, but it's not quite.
Sorry, Matthew.
Cool. All right, guys. If you guys scroll down in the Twitch chat or from the Twitch page, you can see our Discord. Please join if you're a new player. We show like my editing process, writing the videos afterwards, the show notes if you're a show guest, any like insights on it. I think you can give your points and questions and stuff on there. Sometimes we do giveaways and stuff. Our last giveaway, Quicks and Damien or Frog Champ won that last one. It was free sessions, easy peasy. Welcome aboard. That's really all I got to say for anyone, guys. Does anyone have anything else to add?
I want to give a shout out to the owl. He just joined. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
That's one of my favorite top players, like upstairs players.
Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening to the Point Gremlins podcast. I will see you guys next week with Alex as well, whoever we have for episode 10. Episode 10 is soon, dude. 10.
Next week. Double digits.
I'm excited. I'm glad.
See
All right,
some
everyone.
of you this weekend.
Woodlin,
How's
your
that?
band starting this weekend.
Are you the new manager?
Yep.
I'm going to apply for the job, and then I'm going to be your boss.
I would quit.
Immediately.
Great.
I hope this one.
Your ammo.
Right here! Hey! Live fire! Hey! Hey, Jason! Hey, he's right here! Hey, you trying to sneak behind me, fool?